Well, happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Rich Marriott, and we're off to a sunny start around western Washington. In fact, beautiful sunrises this morning and looking pretty nice right now out at Bellingham. Lots of blue water and blue skies, we like to say, from this shot, and a good day to be out on a boat or to be sitting there underneath one of those trees with a little bit of shade as things begin to heat up on what's going to be a first alert weekend starting today, actually all the way through Monday because of heat that's headed our way over the weekend. But looking out there in Everett, you can see a little bit of haze, and we're seeing this in spots. We're seeing quite a bit of haze, but not affecting air quality at all. That's the good news. Just kind of cuts down on the beauty of the shot. But a lot of places also still seeing pretty good conditions. There in Tacoma, good visibility this morning. And as we head out towards the coast, gorgeous morning out there along the coast at Westport. We had some really nice shots out there at sunrise this morning as well. Checking our first alert 7-day forecast, we're in for a little heat wave here over the weekend. First alert weather today all the way through Monday. As we heat up, Saturday and Sunday are going to be our hottest days, and we will see those temperatures peak out one of the 2 days probably. They'll be within a degree or two, so it could go either way. But we'll see the hottest spots get up into the mid-90s with a few upper 90s out towards some of the Cascade foothills. And we begin to cool as we head into Monday, and it's a very slow cooling during the week next week. So it's going to be an extended period where it's pretty hot. And you'll also notice in terms of the overnight lows, especially Sunday morning and Monday mornings, we only drop off to the low to mid 60s, and then only for a couple of hours. We're going to be pretty much in the 70s through most of the time after midnight. So really hard to cool off homes that don't have air conditioning, and that's another reason why we're in first alert mode through Monday, to highlight the fact that it is going to be difficult to cool off homes. Take a look at the satellite image. What we're looking at is that high pressure that's been sitting over the western states and the low up in the Gulf of Alaska. A week ago, that low gave us a front that soaked things down. It's farther west than that high as we've been expecting, gradually moving westward and beginning to build in over us, and that the compressional heating as that moves in is gradually pushing our temperatures up into the 90s, and we're going to be close to a few records, it looks like, over the weekend as well. And checking those temperatures, you see there at SeaTac, we've got temperatures right around 90 degrees for both Saturday and Sunday. And then as you get farther south, and especially as you get away from Puget Sound, places like Olympia are going to be seeing those temperatures into the mid-90s Saturday and Sunday, and really staying in the 90s all the way until you get on towards Wednesday. It's again, like I said, a very slow cool down overall. First alert weather, largely because of the elevated wildfire and danger and the smoke and the heat with possible records, and it goes from now all the way through Monday. It may eventually get extended depending on how fast we finally cool down. It pretty much applies to almost all of western Washington. In fact, we checked the National Weather Service. They have an extreme heat warning out for the foothills and valleys from 11 a.m. this morning all the way through 5 a.m. on Tuesday. Similarly there for the remainder of western Washington, a heat advisory. The only places that aren't under that heat advisory are the places along the coast, the Strait, up in the San Juans, and down around Whidbey Island, where the cooler water is helping to moderate their temperatures a lot. Also, we have a fire weather watch out for this weekend for some potential for critical fire danger for the eastern Olympic Mountains, also for the west slopes of the Cascades. And if you're going to be out and about, not only in the mountains but in the lowlands, be very, very careful with anything that could start a fire, because the fuels and such that got wetted down last week have dried out, and they're going to pretty much dry out even more as we head into this weekend with the increased heat. Overall, checking those record highs, you can see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we're going to be hovering close to the records. Fortunately, the records are fairly low, being in the upper 80s and low 90s, so even if we make them, it won't be as bad as if the records were up in the triple digits. Checking the situation in terms of the smoke, at least at this point, no significant smoke in western Washington. But as we put that into motion, you can see once we turn off our ocean air conditioning and we start to see some easterly winds come in, bringing a little bit of smoke over from eastern Washington, but it doesn't really settle in over Puget Sound. It's pretty light smoke, mostly just looking at haze from that. However, if you take a look at the upper levels, you can see we really see quite a bit of smoke coming over 6,000 feet and above, especially over there in eastern Washington. But in terms of our air quality here down at the surface, pretty good shape for today. A couple places might just edge into the moderate range, and as we head into tomorrow, we're seeing about the same situation, especially in the lee of that Bear Gulch fire there over towards Lake Cushman. So overall, our forecast for today, sunny and heating up, temperatures in the low 80s to the low 90s, and then Saturday and Sunday are two hottest days, temperatures in the mid 80s to the mid 90s, maybe some upper 90s out towards the Cascade foothills, and those warm overnight lows. We'll cool a little bit on Monday, and then we'll look for gradual cooling during the weekend, finally dropping back to our normal highs, which should be in the mid to upper 70s as we head towards the end of August and into that first weekend of September.